said, wow, if this patch is half as good as they're saying, it's going to be phenomenal. Well, 35 months later, I can tell you it's not half as good. It's everything they said and even more. I mean,
Mhm.
because all the stuff we've read, we've seen the testimonies hundreds of times, and it's just been a wild ride, really. It's probably the most exciting thing I've seen ever in the natural health field. The greatest technology to ever come along.
So some of you are brand new tonight hearing for the first time. You probably don't even know anything yet. Somebody just called you. And I want to say to the people on here that are our teamwork already, text right now.
Yeah.
There are more people that you reached out to that have forgotten. Oh my goodness, it is that time. The Zoom has started. So reach out to them. And I want to encourage all of you to get your notebook and your pens ready. But some of you have just gotten enrolled and you're like, okay, what is this all about? I've got my patches or my patches are coming. And then there's some of you that are popping back in that we haven't seen for a while. And then we have leaders on here tonight. And so every single one of you are so special to us. And what you're going to receive tonight is an overview of the X39 technology and the opportunity. As Jen said, we got in 35 months ago. We haven't looked
No.
back.
No.
It has so impacted our lives, so many of our family and friends. So don't leave anybody out. I always say, if you're breathing, you need this technology. You need it. And it's so simple. They're going to tell you a little bit about it, but the thing is, we just peel it and stick it on our bodies and go on about our life. We wear it 12 hours a day and let it just do what it does. And that's stimulating our bodies to repair themselves. And sometimes I call it my age reversal patch because I've experienced that. We've
Yeah,
experienced so many benefits, haven't we?
we have.
And so the other side is that you are able to share it with people you love and care about. And unlike the restaurant that you told somebody about, they never sent you a gift certificate, but this company is willing to give you income to pay for your patches and beyond. So tonight, our special honor, our special guests are Steve and Gina Merritt. Gina is my baby sister, and this is our family.
Mm.
So 35 months ago, they called us
They did.
and we jumped on board, and they've brought their past 37 years of experience of blessing people with information and opportunity to the table. And they created,
This is it, team. So
and that's who we are.
that's who we are.
And so as they created this teamwork, everything about the company changed. This is a 21-year-old company, and their teamwork and the system that we all do the same thing over and over, wear the patch, share our excitement about the patch. Every single day we do the same thing. We all just say it a little differently. So tonight, without further ado, we want to introduce Steve and Gina Merritt, our family, and number one of This Is It team and Lifeway. We are so honored to have them with us. And I'm telling you, text more people, get your pen and paper ready. Let's roll.
Okay, thank you, Cindy. Can we hear me all right?
Yes.
We're actually out of town, and we're having so much fun that I'm gonna have to do a quick meeting from the car. Gina might be able to meet us, but we've been having a total blast. It's my birthday a couple days ago. We're still celebrating. So what's exciting is that you're in business with incredible family of ours, my brother-in-law Jens and my sister-in-law, who are serial entrepreneurs. They could be doing anything in their 70s, but I love their attitude. They want to help and make a legacy and help more people uh, enjoy the benefits of life that they've always enjoyed since I've ever known them, since I was married to Cindy's little sister, Gina. So I pray that you see what we got our hands on. I'm going to go through just a short uh, uh, um, preview of how the patch and the X39 and the opportunity works, and then give you a little bit of insight of where we're going. But the key is that you're on here tonight. It's telling me that you do want better health and you want something more out of life. And you got to have, even if you're like Cindy and Jens that can really create and do something on your own, it works a lot faster if you have somebody with you or you partner up with people that know what they're doing. So together, you're a successful thinker and they're successful. And David Schmidt, the inventor and the owner of the X39, Meredith Burkett's the president. So all of us as a team go and make this thing happen. But I'm so excited that I'm on here today or this evening to help get everybody up to speed on what's happening. So first of all, I'm going to pull up a couple slides, but I do want to say this much, that this patch, this X39 patch, I never, ever heard of it before 35 months ago, like Jen said. And, not everybody, when I first called them, was that positive. It's just everyone's different. I mean, you think that only your friends are the ones that aren't positive. I got a whole family that hasn't signed up, but all of Gina's sisters, they're all at the highest rank. So everybody's different. It's just a matter of opening your mouth and letting them know. You don't know who's looking and who's not, who's praying. But I will tell you, in 34 months, I've never seen so many people open to being proactive with their health and being more open to another stream of income for their finances than ever before because of the cost of living and what's going on. So you're on here. Hey, text a friend, like Cindy said, real quick, because we're just going to start. And all they need to hear is just a little bit, and they're going to get excited. And that's how this business works. It doesn't work on just yourself. It works on everybody working together. And that's the key to the opportunity. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share a couple slides real quick. If you haven't been patched, get with a friend that put you on here tonight, and they'll get you patched real quickly. The inventor and the owner is X39 of the X39 is David Schmidt. He was just awarded his 200th patent. So I believe some of our latest slides have 200 patents. But the fact that when I started 34 months ago, he only had 130 patents, and now he's got 200 is telling you something right there, that this guy's a genius. And because his life calling is to come up with his X39, it's so superior of any product you've ever seen in a word of mouth, relational type business, networking type business. So if you've ever tried one before and you didn't have success, don't let that frustrate you. God was putting something in your heart to say, hey, I'm going to set you up one day with the right technology, with the right product, with the right mentorship. Like I said earlier, got to be around the right people that know what they're doing. But this product, more like a technology, is so far superior from any product in our industry. And that is why our friends that have never succeeded before are winning. So if you got some type of a dream, I mean, guys, just a real quick, my background is I was a pro athlete for 25 years, a pro skier. I kissed my wife for 25 years as a pro athlete and said, I'm going to work, and went skiing. Can you imagine? Cindy and Jens witnessed it. Okay. And then after I couldn't compete anymore, I had to get a job. I felt like I was in prison, and somebody told me about this industry, and we've been having a blast ever since. I will say that basically I was a ski bum, and I still am a ski bum. So if you're looking for some kind of a freedom, and I ask people, I say, hey, whatever you do for a living, do you say to yourself, I appreciate what I'm doing. I just I'm not sure if I want to do this forever. I was in a ski boat and everyone wanted to be me. And I still said, I don't know if I want to be in this boat the rest of my life. Most people would say that's my dream, that's my passion. Hardly anyone that I've ever done in my industry ever wanted to get out because they love it that much. But I knew that I didn't want to do it forever. I'd rather teach you or have fun or make it an adventure to teach you, but to make a living of it, it's not as fun as you think anymore. So David came up with this X39 after years and years. In 2004, he was contracted by the U.S. government to come up with a technology to keep Navy SEALs awake for 30 hours at a time in one-man submarines. He comes up with the patch technology, not the X39. And it worked. They still use it to this day. But in 2020, in July of 2020, is when the X39 was patented. that is a life calling. That is how long it's take 10 years, 4.5 million just with the X39, not counting all the years of coming up with the technology. Get this, the light from your body mirrors off the patch, elevates your copper peptide, reactivates your own stem cells. That is genius. All right. Here's his patent. The patent's got to do what it says it does. It's a U.S. government document. Again, it elevates by the mirroring, the light from your body mirrors the patch, elevates your copper peptide, reactivates your very own stem cells. If you haven't done any research, I was actually just reading before I even heard of the X39. I had bought the audio book of Tony Robbins' Life Force, and I was walking and listening to his book, and I was so intrigued, I bought the book about copper peptides and what they can do in your body, but you have to inject them. Not many people want to be, I never got copper peptides to inject it. It was very interesting to me. And then he had another whole chapter on stem cells and how it's the latest technology in wellness, but you have to inject them. And then all of a sudden I hear about the X39 where you just put a patch on and you get both. And the testimonies will bring you to tears. Why? Because I never heard of this, that every organ in your body is made up of stem cells, and all your stem cells are going dormant in your body. This is for all of you that are business oriented. You came here wanting to make money. You need to mention this to your people, the people you're talking to, because whenever you want to have a business, you want to help somebody else with a solution that they're having issues with. So nobody knows this, but the reason why they're getting tired is because their stem cells are going dormant. No doctor has ever told me, and I've had a lot of doctors. Cindy's a nurse, and she never heard of this, okay? That your stem cells are going dormant. I mean, this is so interesting. There's a website that I'm going to share with you. This is at info, and there's a whole doctor section on there. None of these doctors were in the business or with us with LifeWave before we started, because they're in our organization. And I asked them, why did none of you tell us that our stem cells are going dormant? And they said, we never were taught this in medical school. Interesting. Some of you are going to be more educated tonight than a doctor going through medical school. They don't know their stem cells are going dormant. This is very interesting. You ever hear of an older lady falling, breaking her hip, and she recovers very slow or might never recover? It's because her stem cells have gone dormant and she needs the X39. You name it. That's why the testimonies are so interesting and all over the board, because every organ in your body is made of stem cells. So someone have heart issues. Some people have brain issues, autism, strokes. Okay. Some people have skin issues. Jens will tell you that he was getting frozen because he was a farmer. So he had all kinds of issues with his skin. And the dermatologist is freezing his skin every time he goes in there, and he swears she was paying for her Porsche payment or car. I forgot. I don't think he said his Porsche, but I mean, you know what they're driving. So he said that she was really upset with him when she puts the X39 on and didn't have anything more frozen, nothing to freeze. She was like actually negative. So people got skin issues. Cindy has a gum testimony, just like my wife, Gina. She has an eye testimony like me and my wife, Gina. So does Jen's. There's many, many testimonies that everybody have, because every organ's made of stem cells, and they're going dormant. Now, let me ask you, are you concerned that your stem cells are going dormant? The minute I heard about it, I was concerned. As a matter of fact, 35 months ago, I was 59, and I figured I only got 2 stem cells left that are active in my body. I better put this X39 on. And the energy and the mental clarity is some of the first things you're going to recognize in your sleep. And you're going to start dreaming like you never dreamt before, or like you used to when you were younger. So this is very, very interesting, because sleep really helps you with everything in your body. You got to sleep good, and so many people are having issues with their sleep. Why do you see pain commercials, infomercials, and sleep infomercials? Because they know that's what they get. But I mean, realistically, is the person who came up with that, whatever the product is, their life calling like David Schmidt? No. That is why this works and that why it's so interesting. Now, because nobody knows that at 30 years old, half your stem cells are active. Doesn't take long to become 30 for some of you. Some of you aren't 30 yet, but it ain't going to take long. And 60, you're lucky if 10% are still active, never ever to become reactivated. They're still in their body. They just aren't active unless you're wearing X39. If you're concerned about that, how many other people do you think are? Only the ones with common sense, obviously. I mean, you want your stem cells dormant for the rest of your life? I'm not sure. Wrong person. There's plenty more that want them active. You want to have them reactive. We can't find anyone with common sense that doesn't want active. Now, because of this, it screams opportunity. Remember what I said about business. Business will succeed when you find things or something that is going to help a solution, is a solution to the problem or the situation. So people want to have their stem cells reactivated, okay? And I've never seen in 35 months more people tell me they want another stream of income, which is another issue that we're solving, which is very interesting. So here's some of the benefits of the X39: increased strength, reduced inflammation. Inflammation is the cause of pain, by the way, and it's the cause of most issues. Stamina is wild. The stamina you get, the energy, the vitality, the mental clarity. We do meetings. Now, interesting enough, most of our meetings are on these Zooms. Cindy and my wife, Gina, are not Zoom type people. They like to be and see you and look you in the face and compliment you. Here, it's like you're, talking to somebody out of a closet. I'm here in my car. Okay. So you know what I mean? It's making it, so it's not really our style, but the fact that we can get to the people so much faster is interesting. But we just did a meeting in Texas. There were only 500 people. There's over 500 people. And when I said, has anyone had any result of the product? Every single person stood up. So that's very interesting that everybody is seeing incredible results. That is a sign. Mental clarity is off the chart. Your bones are getting stronger as you're wearing the X39. Imagine as you age, you're getting stronger and more energy and smarter, where everybody else is getting, I don't want to say dumber, but they're not wearing the X39. So this is very interesting. For somebody, especially like myself, I'm more of a common sense type person. Cindy's up there. She probably will give you like an educational word for what I just said. But I'm just saying that, hey, you're getting on your game. You're sharper. If you're an attorney, for instance, this is another interesting thing for you to promote this product. You don't ever have to be like wondering if it's not you could be proud of what you have your hands on, is what I'm saying. So even if you're the most prominent attorney, you don't want your stem cells going dormant. So if maybe your uncle is a very successful attorney, he's going to want to hear about this. Now, weight loss, does he really care? There's many of those. Skin care, does he really care? You know what I mean? But your stem cells, just putting a patch on, that's very interesting. And they want to hear, and it's very non-threatening. It's very easy to talk about. Okay, before I go any further, I just want to give you a little heads up on the business. I'm not going to draw it out. I'm not going to give you a slide on it. I'm just going to tell you real quick. The way this works is it's built like a franchise, okay? I see Mike is on here. Paul, you're on here. Maggie, many of you. I don't know. I can't read it all. Hayden's on here. Ann, Nancy. Okay, now listen, guys. I'm just giving you my business because even though Jens is a serial entrepreneur, I've always been an entrepreneur myself. And I always thought, now I don't know, maybe Jens will pitch in on this. Take your mute off, Jens. I'm just going to ask you something. Whenever I'm building, okay, my ski company, Hayden, I had a very successful ski company. Cindy and Jens witnesses. We're family here, so we're talking, all right? But I always said, boy, if I could only franchise this, Jens. I don't know if you ever thought of that in your farm, you're farming or what. I mean, if you set other people up in a business, enough of them, you can literally be making money and you don't have to be there. I don't know if you were ever on your tractor. Well, I was in my boat. I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking, wow. And if I can't, I'm thinking if I could only figure out a product that I could do this. You ever think of that? I mean, were you ever intrigued by franchising?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, but I was gonna say that at the end of the day, this is even better because even if you franchise something, you still got to run the doggone thing.
Right.
And give them a percentage.
and get, yeah.
Right.
Well, no,
Yeah. No, but
even if you are the
the concept,
franchisee, yeah,
but the concept I'm thinking is
yes,
when you help enough other people succeed in their business,
yeah,
you get paid a little percentage. It doesn't all depend on you.
hmm,
So that's kind of what I thought. So when I
yeah,
first saw the concept, I was blown away because of what the potential could be.
Mhm.
So the great thing for you, like if you're brand new, Cindy said there's a lot of brand new people on here, right? If you're brand new, whenever something first starts, you have to wonder if it's going to work. You know, that's an interesting thing. But we got 35 months, like Jen said. That's a pretty good amount of time
yeah.
to see if it's going to work. So far, we've helped, over 50 of our friends make $1 million or more in 35 months. That's pretty amazing. Okay. So if anyone ever dreamt of it, maybe you could say, hey, I mean, this is like, maybe it's a little too over your head. It's too high money. But guys, I want you to know that I come from the most complacent place in the country, Wisconsin. Nobody dreams up there. I mean, I got 32 cousins. None of them have a passport. Okay. So it's very different up there. And if I can dream that big, Mike, you can dream. Everybody can dream. All right. And I'm not trying to pick on Wisconsin. Maybe you're a cheesehead in the room. Okay. But the point is that I hope you can get out of the funk of like everybody's very complacent, is what I'm trying to say. They're happy to go to the Packer game or to the Wisconsin Dells or something, but they don't ever think about going to Bora Bora or to Switzerland or somewhere, that's a place. So that's what I'm trying to say. And if I can do that, so can every one of you. So, but the point is that it's happening. We're not experimenting on those that are brand new. You are getting at the perfect timing to take advantage of a huge opportunity. So I hope that you really grasp what we're saying, and you're a dreamer, and you don't have it like. I hope you're not saying, I wonder if I could do it, because if someone else can do it, you can do it. That's how you become a world champion. Like myself in my ski career, I had to look at other people and say, if they could do it, I could do it. So I hope you're saying that. Cindy is that way. Jen's is my wife Gina is that way. It's born in their blood. Okay. I kind of gained it because I was a skier, and that's the only way I could. I'm glad that I went through that part of my life because I brought it here. Because I'm very frustrated with somebody that doesn't believe they could do something if someone else can do it. Now you're going to have to put a little effort in, but this is like, we're not running a jackhammer. We're not putting up roofs. We're not doing what Jens did as a farmer his whole life. Okay. This is like, we're just going to stick patches on people and say, do you want to make some money if this works? And why don't we go stick all your loved ones? Because the more people you stick, the more you're going to get testimonies. Because if you go to our websites and see the testimonies, you could tell they're not infomercials. They're just regular aunts, uncles, Billy Bob, and B type people that are like, you can't make this stuff up. So I hope that you are looking, and I'm sure if you're on here, you are. Now, the concept of the business, I want to explain this real quick. Basically, it's as close to franchising. That's why I brought it up, because in a franchise, if you own it, now, yes, you don't own LifeWave, but because no one knows about LifeWave and you're allowed to build this anywhere in the 100 countries that we're in, and nobody knows about it, you own the franchise for yourself. So you could build it as big as you want. And we have a system that's free that everybody just plugs into and learns how to build it. So when you plug them in, if they're looking and dreaming bigger than you, they might dive in deeper and build it bigger and faster than you, but you get rewarded for that. So it's very interesting. So when Gina and I started, we were down on our luck, praying for over a year to find something that we could do together and build. Okay. Since I've talked to people for 35 months, I've found other people that have been looking, searching, praying. Some of them didn't know they were looking, but they were.
Mm-hmm.
And we start building it. And we talked to my friend who was a carpenter. That's the first person we called. And he said, I don't want to swing a carpenter hammer for the rest of my life. I got a bum ankle. After 24 hours, his ankle's feeling better. And now he's at the highest rank. Okay. I called Cindy and Jens. At first, they were a little skeptical, but then they said they're interested. And now they're at the highest rank. I called my friend that said, I've already heard of X39. I said, you didn't hear it from me. Okay. Told them, they sign up. They're at the highest rank. They're in Switzerland right now. Okay. So, okay, I call a doctor. This is very interesting. Cindy knows my friend, Dr. Genchi, and he tells me and my doctor friends, because for 20 years, so those of you that don't know any history of LifeWave, like Cindy said, it's been around for 20 years. It's like the best kept miracle secret. Okay. Mostly promoted by doctors for 20 years. Now, if somebody tells me and I'm looking for something, Jens, I want to tell you one more thing. This is going through my mind. I never shared this with you, most people, because, you know, we're all busy. But I used to say, Mike, you don't know, my sport was barefoot water skiing. Okay. I got a picture. You could go on my Facebook when I put a happy birthday message and showed me doing a front flip. I invented that flip, going from my bare feet on 45 miles on the water. I leaped off the water, landed back on my feet and skied away. And then they put that in the tricks. It took me 1 year to learn it. Now thousands can do it. That's how usually it works. Like, that's how this business should work. Alicia, because we did it, you're going to do it. But if we never did it, you might not wonder if you could do it. But now, because we did it, you could do it. Same thing with my trick. Okay. So, what I would say is, I wanted to find something that everybody needed or used, because whenever I thought franchising, Jens, I'm saying, how can I franchise this? Because hardly anybody want to barefoot ski or could barefoot ski. But everybody needs their stem cells reactivated. So when I seen this, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what we need. And nobody knows about it.
Right.
So you build it like a franchise. We're calling people. So I called this doctor. I got off the thing about it. My friend, Victor, longtime friend. Cindy knows he's like my longtime, like best friend. This isn't just like a doctor that I know. And he says, Steve, my doctor friends and I have already tried LifeWave. It doesn't work. Don't waste your time. You're never going to succeed at it. I said, Victor, I prayed for this. Watch me. Okay. And okay, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to just reduce something for everybody. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Okay. Hold on. I'm not done yet. Hold on. Okay. I got a text right here. One of the last texts is him, because he said, I have a major builder. This is him. So I said, watch me. And I went and built it, and he didn't right away. Now he's texting me saying, I got this major builder wants to talk to you. He hasn't joined LifeWave yet. He wants to talk to you. Can you do a call with me and him in an hour or 2 hours? So he just said, is 8 o'clock too late tonight? So you see what happens, that if you just stick with something, you don't know what can happen. You just got to be a bit bold starting tonight.
Yes.
And I don't mean weird. I just said, hey, Victor, I prayed for this. Watch me do it. And now he's following me and wants to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought this was interesting that doctors were promoting it for 20 years before us. That's very interesting. Now, basically, the way the doctors build it is they just patch people. Okay. Now, I don't want to put every doctor in a box, but they really aren't entrepreneur type folks. They really just were patching everybody that they knew, all their patients. I'm sorry, they patched all their patients, but they never said, like, Paul, if you were my patient and I'm a doctor, they never said, Paul, you know, there's a lot of money in this. That's how I talk. Okay. Mike, they don't say, the doctor just patches. He's afraid to tell you there's money in it for some reason. Maybe because all the schooling they went to, they're afraid to talk about money, but they never talk about money. So the company was like this for 20 years, never growth. I come in, Jens comes in, we talk about business, opportunity. Hey, if this works, can you imagine how much money we can make? No doctor talks that way. Don't ask me why. But I would, why wouldn't they? I mean, think about it. Now, this is just me. If you're a chiropractor, I'm praying for you on here, but you don't want to be cracking my back at 50 years old, because you're going to get hurt. Even though I'm hurt, you got to lift me up. You know what I mean? This is not easy to do this kind of stuff. So that's why I'm saying you should have been thinking, or should be thinking. You're probably on here tonight saying, I'm thinking about this. If you go to the chiropractor, Nancy, ask him, do you ever think about cracking my back could hurt you. You know what I mean? How long can you keep doing this? I mean, be honest with us, doctor. You can't crack someone's back for the rest of your life. Do you want to get out of here? If he says, no, I don't want to get out of here, wrong doctor. But ask him if he has another doctor. You know what I mean? Mike, I always ask people, okay, you don't want to do it? Do you have a brother like you don't want to make money? Do you have a brother that loves to make money? Because my brother don't like to make money, but I do. So that's how I got it. Like, you got a sister or a brother that loves making money. So you got to make sure you never leave without asking for a referral. You got nothing to lose. Hey, my brother loves to, this guy is crazy. Because if they were talking to my brother, if you talk to my brother and you said, you got a brother that loves making money? Here's what he'd say. You know what? My brother is crazy. I don't know if he do it, but I know one thing, the guy's crazy enough to do it. Because people that are kind of mundane and they don't care about making money, or, they just want to have a job, is what I'm saying. They don't want to have that freedom. They think it's crazy that people want to go do something where they can enjoy life. Like Jens, the guy is on a catamaran. If I think of Jens, I'm thinking about him driving his how long was that yellowfin? Was the yellowfin you had?
No, it's a Fontaine for show.
Okay. How long was it?
36 feet, I guess.
Okay. All the boats. How much? I don't even want to name all the boats you got, but if I picture Jens and Sydney, they're on the yacht or they're on a boat cruising to the Bahamas and staying as long as they want.
He's shopping for one right now.
Right. See what I mean? Like, now an average person thinks that's crazy, but you're not average on here. Right. Now, I know this is a different kind of a talk tonight, but I just want you to get thinking that if every single talk I give you is the same one, you're like, because this is going to hit Alicia or it's going to hit Nancy or Maggie. I can see Maggie writing notes about, she's having a hard time taking notes of me, but he's smiling at least. Point is that, something's got to get you a hot button here to say, I'm going to go do this thing because these guys are having too much fun.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to have a blast. And we're not bragging. We're just saying, why would I come on here? I want every one of you to be where we're at, and we're going to help you. This isn't just one, just like I told you a little while ago, a few weeks ago, this is just one Zoom. We're going to do this until everyone wins. So get ready. Okay. But the key is that doctors were promoting it for 20 years. They never talk business. I see it and say, oh my gosh, because the doctors see it. And they say, okay, if you go on that website, this is at Info Paul, scroll down to the middle section. There's a doctor on there, Dr. Joseph Peck. He's been a doctor for 40 years, and he says this is the biggest medical breakthrough. Maggie says she needs a boat. Okay. She said, this is the biggest medical breakthrough that I've ever seen in medicine. If you were the person who promoted the product, it's like you're saying, oh my gosh, what do I have my hands on? That's what I say. Okay. Now, I don't act like a doctor. I just say, because it works, you try it, put it on your family. You're going to get testimonies, and then let the product do the talking. You don't have to be David Schmidt or a doctor. You're just sharing the dream. Okay. So because I start talking to people, and I brought up the doctor because the one person that said, I already heard of X39, I said, you didn't hear it from me, and they're the highest rank. I wanted to say this because I have people that say no as well. So, or confront me. Okay. But if you just keep going, now look at the doctors with me. So the key is that after me just talking to some people, so I call my brother and sister-in-law. I talked to one of my best friends who's a carpenter. I talked to a doctor who's a best friend. I talked to one of my friends that I met him through my son's batting coach, and his son is the same cross trainer as me. Okay. So we met these people. Okay.
Okay. Are you with Cindy?
Woo!
Okay. So I'm walking. Come on. So they say, can you take my picture? I said, yeah, they're on our team.
See?
We got left wave on.
Hey, Hayden, your friends are here. Hold on. He's right here. Hold on. Who's in here? Okay. So,
oh my gosh, I'm so glad. So take your picture.
Where is he? Hayden is right there. See him?
So
See him?
funny.
What's your names?
Chelsea and Lane Taylor.
Hey, welcome to the team. Glad to be partnering up with you guys, right?
Nice to meet you.
So they're,
Live here.
oh, see?
Oh my gosh, we gotta crush it with you guys.
Okay, Gina, say hi real quick, and then I'm gonna finish.
Okay, hi guys, fired up.
Great to see you guys. Come on, you look familiar.
We've been on calls.
Okay.
Well,
Good.
passingly,
Let's
not
go.
on one.
Let's go do it together. You're
Yes,
too
sir.
young to work forever.
And they live here. It's amazing. Now we got
Go.
somebody to work
All
with.
right.
Yeah.
Come on, we're gonna do it. Okay. So, guys, this is what it's all about. I hope you can see a little bit that we're having fun, and you should do the same thing. Michelle, I see you on there. You look like a go-getter. Okay. Now, you just have fun. You talk to people. If they're negative, there's nothing you could do about it. I mean, you just talk to people. You're looking for positive people. I'm not really a people person, but this business has kind of brought it out of me, and my wife is that kind of way. So I just open my mouth, and if the person's interested, you talk to them. If they're not, you go to the next one. But you're also just be sincere. The way I met Hayden was Paul and Linda call me up, say, hey, is there any way you'll get on one of these Zooms at your pool in Greece on your vacation? Mike, me and Gina get on the Zoom. We find the internet at the pool, and we talk, and we meet Hayden and say, hey, you know what? We're here. We want to help you. And now look we're still helping them. Okay. On the street, we're bumping into people. That, by the way, that's not a coincidence. That's God's favor, Paul. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying. That's why I called you out. So anyways, but what happened was, so this is a good example from what I was bringing up to Nancy. We start talking to people, and now we have over 400,000 people on our team. Everyone is an entrepreneur building their own business, and you can't stop the person. Like, Nancy, you're going to talk to somebody tonight or tomorrow, and I can't stop you. You have your own dreams, okay? Meg is going to get her a boat, and Jens is going to help her get one, okay? Okay? But that's why Jens is here. He wants everyone to have a boat.
There you go.
So all we're doing is sharing, talking to people, looking for the ones that smile back. Don't pressure yourself real hard on whether they get in or not. You're just talking to them. I'm going to give you a little. So anyways, it goes from us just talking. If you remember what I said, I was praying. That means I was down on my luck. There is a lot of people in here that are way more on their game than I was 34 months ago. So I want you to see where we were at, that when you're down on your luck, you don't have a lot of confidence in yourself, but if you know how to win, Mike, if you've ever won in your life before, you know how to win. So you just got to pull it out of you and start talking, and that's what we just did. So I'm encouraging you to wherever you're at. Maggie, you want the boat, you know how to win. You at least graduated some school. I never did. So I mean, you did something, and you just pull that out of you. Like Gina was the #1 baton twirler in our town. I don't know, because it was before my time, before I met her, but Cindy knows. So, and she's laughing, but that little confidence, you bring it out of you. Like, I remember this one lady I sponsored, she was moving and she had all her trophies in her hand. And she said, these are my trophies in gymnastics. But so that's who I sponsored, people that got some belief in themselves. Hey, Nancy, when you talk to people, look for people like that. People that like to win or have won in their life, they're very they have more confidence, and they don't become a project. So we have 400,000 people like that. You attract who you are. The blessing, everybody, Hayden, I want to give you this. The blessing we have here is that David Schmidt is a scientist and inventor. So the blessing everybody has here. Now, I love David Schmidt. If we didn't have the X39, we don't have nothing. Okay. But the fact that he's a scientist, for 20 years, he attracted doctors, and they don't want to build a business. I'm not going to put them all in a box. I'm just saying that many of you have talked to doctors, and they're not building it. So it kind of slam dunks my thing. And I hope they go build it. But for some reason, they like to just stick the patches on their patients or think about it. But point is that because he attracted doctors, there was no entrepreneurs that got in for 20 years till we come in. That's a blessing. I mean, no one ever heard of LifeWave when I started. Now it's the #1 company in the industry. Nobody ever heard about it. Still, talk to Jens. He'll tell you that is a sign you're onto something big. You know what I mean? So, now I want to just give you this concept for everyone that's brand new, because there's so many new people on here. Everybody, when you have 400,000 people talking to people, now don't get me wrong, it can work. It works with 5 people and 10 people. What do I mean by that? Okay, Nancy, your entire life, the way I was built making a living was I go to work at a job, or I have my own ski company. Then I had to be a sales rep. My wife's a flight attendant. First, she was a dental assistant, but that was before I even got married. So she was a flight attendant her whole married career, 25 years, before she retired in this industry. But we both put our own sweat equity. I remember going to Cindy and Jens's nursery and how hard they work. I remember how hard they work. They had their kids like in a, I don't want to say a cage, but like in a playpen or whatever, But I'm just saying that we're all hard workers. Everybody on here is a hard worker, okay? And you put your own sweat equity to make a living. That's different if you sponsor, Nancy, when you sponsor, I don't say if, I say when you've got 5 people that are building it for their dream. Look at, they're still talking out there. Gina can't see, look at Hayden. You're going to be rich because of Gina. I mean, I love you, Hayden. All right. But this gal, she's a blessing. It's a blessing to have her on the team because she just relates to everybody. She can bring the best out of everybody and believes in it. But Nancy, learn that from her. You just want to be positive. I've learned it from her. You be positive. She'll call me out if I have a bad attitude and put 2 patches on me or something. You know what I mean? But remember, if you got 5 people talking and building their business, that's 5 times, Mike, what you're doing for a living normally. You know what I mean? Then when those 5 sponsor 1 more each, that's 10 times. You get the math? Now 20 people all of a sudden are imagine when you got 100 people. So I don't want to get over your head on that 400,000. It's like 2 turn into 4, turn into 8, turn into 16 people that are putting in the effort. Okay, Maggie, the reason why you don't have a boat, I'm not trying to call you out. The reason why people, and I'm using the boat, but it's really what I say to people is the reason why you can't keep up with the cost of living is because it's changed. The book of the month this month is Who Moved My Cheese? The cheese that was moved for all of us is we used to be able to have enough hours in the day to make a living. That's the cheese that moved everybody. Now it talks so much money to go to grocery store, to go out to dinner, to go to, just the other night here up in the Panhandle was $600 to go to a steak place there were 5 people there. $600 just a steak place. So, think about it. I'm not trying to brag on the dinner. I needed a write-off. That's different. When I started 34 months ago, I wouldn't be going to that steak place, Maggie. Okay. All right. So, and I wouldn't be asking for the check. Okay. So all I'm getting at is that there's not enough hours in a day for you to get that boat. You got to multiply, duplicate yourself. That is what we're doing. Okay. That's what we're teaching people. The first thing I taught you, if you're brand new tonight, is I taught you we're on a stem cell awareness mission because no one knows their stem cells are going dormant. The second mission we're on is we're teaching people you can't keep up with the cost of living with your own sweat equity.
Because they're going to go on their anniversary dinner.
Let's do it. Okay. Stay with me, guys. You can see I'm a little sunburned. I hope that the internet stays with me. Come close to the car.
So guys, listen, how it all started, guys, how it all started was I said, do a crazy shot. And she goes, I know that girl. I know her.
She said, do a crazy shot. I always do this.
Yeah, I showed her. You know how I always put my arms out, Linda?
Guys, this is a teaching
do the crazy shot
for everybody.
It is a teaching.
Yeah, it is.
That's your brand.
Yeah. Okay, come on. Let's go.
Oh, I'm a video. Look at that. Look at that. Hold on.
Yeah.
You just wanted to last.
That's right. There we
We're
go.
gonna start doing
So though, they're on their anniversary, guys.
Good. Let's do it.
Okay, here.
Do it. We're just down the street. She knows all you where. Good to see you. Come on. What's your name again? Lane. Okay, good. Good. Okay. Okay, so divine appointment, Lane just said. I hope that. Okay. Now, Hayden, don't start looking at them because the new improved enhancements, you make 20,000. They used to only pay us 6,000 a week for everybody that we help, Nancy. Now they're about to, because Gina and I and our friends, including Jens and Hayden and Paul and Linda, Paul, thank you. We took the company from 100 million to 600 million. So David Schmidt, the owner, says, we want to start rewarding you more money. So they're going to give us all more money in the next 45 days. So instead of 6,000 per person that you help make this happen to the highest rank, they're going to give you 20,000. I'm just trying to tell Hayden, please don't look at Lane with $20,000 in your eyes, but you're going to be able to make that. You know, people don't care. Paul knows that when you help someone else win in life, they don't mind as long as you're helping. If I'm like saying Nancy's going to make me rich, that isn't cool. But if I'm going to go and say, hey, I'll roll up my shirt sleeves to help you go where you're going to go, then I get paid. That's how this works. So it goes back to this whole conversation goes back to what I was saying before. The cost of living has gone up so high that you have to multiply, duplicate yourself, your efforts. You can't. So people are wondering, Nancy, Maggie, Alicia, they're wondering, how am I going to keep up with it? You have to teach them. So it's like a teaching moment. And when you give them a little content, then they like, oh my gosh, I see what you're saying. If you're just like talking out of the blue and you're not like, because you're on here tonight, you got some content to share. But if the person that didn't come on here, they don't know what to say. Even if you're a friend, you try to teach them, it's different than when you're listening to somebody who made it happen. So that's why it's important to come to the training. So it starts with okay. So, I mean, I kind of went off a totally different schedule or script than what I was going to go off. But I feel this is so important of what happened tonight. Look at Gina's out. She meets people. You know, it's incredible what you just seen. And then, so at least you see real time that we're talking to people. Like if Hayden wouldn't have signed that couple up, Gina already would have them signed up, Hayden. Did you get what I said, Maggie? You know, you understood that. This isn't that hard. My son was with us this weekend and he just, okay, I'm reading out of the things. Here he is. He's got me and my wife because he sees our lifestyle and he's like saying, okay, Dad, is there any way I met these two guys this weekend? So one of them's at 7, the other guy's at 8:00. He might be going to grab his son, so he might be a little busy, but he said he really wants to hear what's going on at 8:00. So tomorrow or Wednesday, because tomorrow I'm flying to Utah, I'm going to help him at 7 and at 8, talk to some people for him. All I'm getting is that people are looking and they're open and they want something more. So Gina's rubbing off on him now. Look at, he's meeting people. It's a good thing he ain't listening to me because I'm thinking about talking to somebody and she's talking to him. But I know how to teach. At least I know how to teach how it works. So, and don't worry, I do open my mouth and I'm not, because I'm not good at it, Paul, they sign up with me because they feel sorry for me, Linda, or Nancy, I'm sorry. Okay, now, you just have to open your mouth. You don't have to be good at it. Hayden, am I right? You've talked to people. Some of the times you like do perfect conversations and they all sign up. I mean, you do perfect conversation and they don't sign up. Sometimes you totally mess it up and they sign up. That proves that you don't have to be good at it. You just got to do it. Okay. If you're brand new or you're kind of new, I want to give you a heads up. You got to get good at getting them on the Saturday trainings, okay? Because if you're going to duplicate your efforts, they got to know what they're talking about. So, Alicia, if you're the only one on a Saturday training, or like tonight, if you're the only one here, you're the only one being taught. But if you have like 5 people, then they're being taught, and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm starting to get it, okay? So you've got to figure this out, that you got to get them on the Saturday trainings that are free. I mean, if you can't get somebody on a Saturday training for free, you're probably not going to get them to the Orlando event that they got to pay for to have a hotel room and be there. So you got to start getting good on the free ones. And then you start slipping in that, hey, look at Steve and Gina got 104 people that hit the highest rank. And not one of them got there without coming to the Orlando event that's coming up August 8th through the 10th.
You guys,
in August.
They are so fired up.
Okay.
They are so fired up. Seriously, they're so fired up. I'm sorry, I was out there for 45 minutes taking their anniversary photos. And I go, okay, do a crazy one. And she goes, wait a minute. Are you Gina? I said, yeah. And she goes, look at the patch.
So they didn't even know that it was Gina until she said, do a crazy shot.
She goes, as soon as you said do a crazy shot, I knew it was you.
So I hope, Nancy, that you could see that we're having fun as we're doing this. You got to enjoy the journey. This is not something that's all stress. Like, okay, Maggie, you're the one that wants the boat. Okay. You can't look. This
I
is
want to go in Maggie's boat.
this is a good example. This is very good for everybody. When we first started, okay, remember I said Cindy wasn't like they didn't know if they were interested or not. I'm just saying they didn't like sign up the minute we called them. But we didn't look desperate. You know what I mean? We sent them this is at info.com, and then they called us the next day or actually texted us at 6 a.m, said, we want to talk when you wake up.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but we were already so fired up, we were already awake. But point is that you got to have this same attitude when you start as when you're with like the whole time. This is how we've always been. You look like a cool cat. You're not looking. That's why we teach. And I'm not going to go through this tonight, but you can watch. If you go to if you can't sleep tonight, Nancy, go to thisisiteam.com. You might want to listen to it another time if you already heard it. Scroll down and hear the 2020 vision. LifeWave never had anyone teach 20 right, 20 left, the strategy that we have on This Is It Team since till we came. And that's where the company went to 600 million from 100. Okay. So you just listen. The reason why you do that, Maggie, is so that you don't have to work. If they're not ready, you don't have to worry. You ever hear of somebody in this industry, they say, yeah, I don't like it because somebody bugged me for 2 years, and they signed me up and they bugged me. Well, that's why we teach 20 right, 20 left, because then you don't have to bug them. You're working with the people that like these guys saying, oh my gosh, we have so many great people. Can you help us? We want to work together. That's who we're looking for. By the way, Hayden, that's a sign we got to get this thing done, my friend.
These guys
want to believe that they can go SPD.
No.
So Hayden,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to call you out, but you got to get to SPD so they can have belief.
They just said we want to step it up.
Okay. Does that make sense, Maggie? Okay. If you don't get the next rank, the person you sponsor, if it's me, I don't believe I can get there.
Yeah.
So this is very psychological as well. They got to see someone else do it, and then they can do it. So we got to get moving. And when you say step it up, Nancy, all it is talk to some more people. It's not like you're not running a jackhammer, like I said earlier. You're not doing something strenuous. You're calling them up, say, hey, do you know your stem cells are going dormant, and do you want to have them reactivated? If they say yes to that, then you say, because nobody knows their stem cells are going dormant, there's a lot of money. Do you want to make some more money? And they got to say, yes, I want to make more money. There's 2 questions that they have to say yes to. I want my stem cells active, or I want to be healthier, and I want to make money. Then you got the right prospect. Now, Maggie, if I find someone that just wants better health, I'll stick them. They can sign up. But it's really not one of my 2020 that I'm looking for. I got to find someone that's going to promote this with me, or you can't be in the boat because they're just using the patch keeping the selfish to themselves. They're not telling anyone. So you see what I mean? I'm glad that I'm getting Maggie. Like, she's like totally into it now compared to when she was starting. She was just taking notes, but now she's really ready to go because she sees herself in the boat, So you see what I mean? We got to duplicate. So everybody, we got to help each other, make it happen. Don't take lightly. I'm not going through any slides tonight. I'm just going to tell you the facts on this before I wrap it up. Jens is a good example. He is a serial entrepreneur and successful at his investing because at least he knows what he's talking about, because he goes to conferences and conventions and seminars. You can't win at anything if you don't know what you're doing. Knowledge gives you the confidence to talk to people. We don't have one person that ever succeeded that didn't come to one of our conventions. We've only had 2 since we start. And there's no one even close to the momentum that our team is having. I'm not calling me and Gina our team. My one friend has over 1,000 people coming, and he came just to check us out 2 years ago. So he's coming. He's on the elite trip in Switzerland right now. We're supposed to be there, but because I had neck surgery, which my doctor, Nancy, said he's never seen anyone get this better this fast. Notice how I didn't see the word heal. Okay. He never saw someone get better this fast with major neck surgery. Okay. Cindy knows. Gina's telling me what to say. So anyways, okay. But we're going to help you get that boat, Maggie. You got to stick with us. You got to be like a hair in a biscuit, and you can't leave us. You want that boat? How many other people? Your boss ain't saying, Maggie, I want to help you get this boat. I want you to help. I want you to get my job. We're saying that. Like, we just talked to these guys. What's his name? Lane.
Chelsea and
Well, Hayden will tell me. He knows. If he doesn't know, he's gonna know him now. So, anyways, so don't underestimate, Nancy, what I'm saying. You got to come to Orlando. We got 50 plus people on here. Okay. Get to Orlando August 8th through the 10th. Maggie, you're going to need a write-off as well.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we might have just lost Steve and Gina, but oh my gosh, that was the best ever Zoom. Oh my word. Talk about dream building. Talk about real life. Talk about, how it's changed everybody's lives from the technology to the opportunity. I just cannot say enough great things about tonight's Zoom. And for those of you that are new, you're probably going, all right, this is a crazy group, but I'm ready. I need my patches. And I want to tell you, the person who invited you is going to get an enrollment form to you. Steve was controlling the slides, so I've got paper here. They're going to get an enrollment form to you. And you want to get yourself enrolled tonight before you lay your head on the pillow. We want you with us. This, as Steve has drawn a beautiful picture tonight, he's messaging me, my internet died. We lost you. Can you take over? Yep, we're already on it, Steve. We're a team. So get your enrollment form filled out tonight before you lay your head on that pillow and you get it to the person who invited you. This is way bigger than we ever dreamed.
Way
bigger.
bigger.
From the technology to the opportunity. And Jens has said a million times, where in the world can you spend $295 to $1,750 for a 7-figure opportunity that literally is changing lives? There's nowhere you can make that kind of an investment for the type of opportunity and return and to hang with us. I mean,
Yeah.
we're fun. Come on. So get your enrollment form filled out. We will, I did the recording tonight, so I'll post this and you'll be able to share it. But y'all, this has been such a fun night. And thank you so much for being with us. And I'm just going to tell you, this gets better and better and better every single solitary day and every single week. And why? Because we have the greatest technology, we have the most incredible opportunity, but we have you. You are coming into our lives, and we are having so much fun building a teamwork and building community that we get to do life with. And this is what it's all about. It's about the relationships that we're getting to build and getting to know each other's families and your dreams. And we're going to do this together. So God bless you.
God bless you guys. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us tonight. You all are amazing. And we can't wait to meet all of those who are brand new on here tonight or brand new just got enrolled today. All right, y'all. Have an amazing week.